Imagine waking up tomorrow to a world in chaos. The stock market has crashed, banks are closed, your savings are frozen. This is not a scene from a dystopian movie. It is a stark possibility that we must confront. An economic collapse, while unthinkable to many, is a risk that looms large in our interconnected world. Economic collapses are like earthquakes. They are sudden, violent, and leave behind a trail of destruction. They shake the foundations of our society, disrupt our daily lives, and leave lasting scars on our collective psyche. But unlike natural disasters, they are often man-made, the result of reckless speculation, regulatory failures, and a lack of foresight. The signs of an impending economic crisis are often ignored or dismissed until it's too late. Asset bubbles inflate, fueled by cheap credit and irrational exuberance. Warnings from experts are brushed aside. The music plays on and everyone dances, oblivious to the approaching storm. Then the bubble bursts. Panic sets in. The dominoes start to fall, one after another, with each fallen domino triggering a cascade of failures. Banks collapse, businesses shutter, and millions are thrown out of work. The once unthinkable becomes a living nightmare. The collapse of complex financial systems is often triggered by seemingly small events. A single bank failure, a sudden drop in asset prices, a loss of confidence in the market. These seemingly isolated incidents can quickly escalate, creating a ripple effect that reverberates throughout the entire economy. These events expose the interconnectedness of our globalized world. Banks lend to each other, businesses rely on complex supply chains, and investors hold assets across borders. This interconnectedness, while beneficial in times of stability, can accelerate the spread of an economic crisis like wildfire. As fear grips the markets, investors rush to sell their assets, driving prices down further. Banks become reluctant to lend, fearing defaults. Businesses, starved of credit and facing declining demand, are forced to lay off workers or shut down altogether. The vicious cycle feeds on itself, turning a crisis into a catastrophe. This economic contagion spreads from Wall Street to Main Street, impacting the lives of everyday people in profound ways. Jobs are lost, homes are foreclosed, and retirement savings evaporate. The social fabric of society begins to fray as people struggle to make ends meet. History is replete with examples of economic collapses, each offering valuable lessons about the causes and consequences of financial instability. From the Tulip Mania of the 17th century to the Great Depression of the 1930s to the 2008 financial crisis, the patterns are eerily similar. The Tulip Mania, one of the earliest recorded asset bubbles, saw the price of tulip bulbs soar to astronomical heights in Holland, only to crash spectacularly, leaving countless investors bankrupt. This episode highlights the dangers of speculation and the irrational behavior that can grip markets. The Great Depression, triggered by a stock market crash in the United States, plunged the world into a decade of economic hardship. The collapse of the banking system, coupled with protectionist trade policies, led to widespread unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. This dark period underscores the importance of sound economic policies and international cooperation. More recently, the 2008 financial crisis, sparked by the bursting of the U.S. housing bubble, demonstrated the interconnectedness of the global financial system and the speed at which a crisis can spread across borders. This crisis highlighted the dangers of unregulated financial markets and the need for greater oversight. These historical examples serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that economic collapses are not merely abstract concepts, but real events with devastating consequences. They underscore the importance of vigilance, regulation, and a deep understanding of the forces that drive financial markets. In the aftermath of an economic collapse, the very foundations of our financial system can crumble. Banks may close, ATMs may run dry, and our hard-earned money may become worthless. In this scenario, how do we value goods and services? How do we trade and transact? Bartering, the ancient system of exchanging goods and services directly, often reemerges as a vital lifeline in times of economic turmoil. People trade their skills and possessions for essential goods like food, water, and shelter. A doctor might trade medical services for food, while a mechanic might barter repairs for fuel. Local currencies or scrip may emerge as communities attempt to create alternative mediums of exchange. These local currencies, often backed by tangible assets or community trust, facilitate trade and foster a sense of resilience in the face of economic uncertainty. The collapse of traditional financial institutions can also lead to a rise in alternative currencies like gold and silver, often seen as safe haven assets in times of crisis. Their inherent value and limited supply make them attractive alternatives to fiat currencies that have lost their purchasing power. However, bartering and alternative currencies have their limitations. They lack the efficiency and widespread acceptance of traditional currencies, making complex transactions difficult. They highlight the importance of a functioning financial system for a healthy and vibrant economy. The social and psychological impacts of an economic collapse are often more devastating than the financial losses. As unemployment soars, homes are foreclosed, and savings evaporate, people experience a profound sense of loss, anxiety, and despair. Social unrest can erupt as people, desperate for solutions, direct their anger and frustration at the government, financial institutions, and the wealthy. Protests, riots, and looting can become commonplace as social order breaks down. The bonds of trust that hold communities together can fray as people become suspicious of each other, hoarding resources and prioritizing their own survival. The sense of shared purpose and collective responsibility that underpins a healthy society can erode, replaced by fear, isolation, and self-preservation. The psychological toll of an economic collapse should not be underestimated. The stress of financial hardship, job loss, and an uncertain future can lead to increased rates of depression, anxiety, domestic violence, and even suicide. The scars of this trauma can linger long after the economy begins to recover. While the prospect of an economic collapse is undeniably daunting, it is important to remember that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. History teaches us that periods of crisis often give rise to innovation, resilience, and a reimagining of our economic and social systems. Just as the Great Depression led to the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms designed to alleviate poverty and stimulate the economy, so too can an economic collapse be a catalyst for positive change. It can force us to confront systemic inequalities, rethink outdated economic models, and invest in more sustainable and equitable systems. New industries and businesses often emerge from the ashes of economic collapse, driven by necessity, innovation, and a desire to rebuild. The sharing economy, for example, gained traction after the 2008 financial crisis as people sought alternative ways to access goods and services. Periods of economic hardship can also foster a renewed sense of community and social solidarity as people come together to support each other, share resources, and rebuild their lives. This spirit of cooperation and collective action can be a powerful force for positive change.
While we cannot predict the future, we can take steps to mitigate the impact of an economic collapse on our lives. By adopting a mindset of preparedness and developing a plan, we can navigate the challenges ahead with greater resilience and confidence. Building a financial cushion is crucial. This includes having an emergency fund to cover essential expenses for several months, diversifying income streams, and reducing debt. Having a financial safety net provides a buffer against unexpected shocks. Developing practical skills such as gardening, basic home repairs, and first aid can prove invaluable in a crisis situation. These skills not only enhance self-sufficiency, but can also be bartered for goods and services. Connecting with like-minded individuals and building a strong community network can provide emotional support, practical assistance, and a sense of belonging in times of uncertainty. Joining a community garden, volunteering at a local food bank, or participating in a neighborhood watch program are all ways to build social capital.
While individual preparedness is essential, the true path to recovery lies in collective action. Rebuilding a more resilient and equitable society requires a shared commitment to social justice, economic fairness, and environmental sustainability. Governments play a crucial role in mitigating the impact of economic crises by providing a safety net for the most vulnerable, investing in infrastructure projects that create jobs, and regulating financial markets to prevent future meltdowns. Community organizations, faith-based groups, and nonprofits also play a vital role in providing social services, supporting local businesses, and fostering a sense of community. Their work is essential in rebuilding trust and creating a more just and equitable society. Each of us has a role to play in shaping a more resilient future. By advocating for policies that promote economic justice, supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability, and engaging in our communities, we can contribute to a more stable and equitable world. The specter of economic collapse serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of our financial systems and the need for fundamental reform. Preventing future crises requires addressing the root causes of instability, promoting transparency and accountability, and fostering a more sustainable and equitable financial system. Reforming the financial industry to curb excessive risk-taking, leverage, and speculation is paramount. This includes strengthening regulations, increasing capital requirements for banks, and closing loopholes that allow for reckless gambling with our collective future. Promoting financial literacy and inclusion is crucial to empowering individuals and communities to make informed financial decisions. This includes providing access to affordable financial services, educating the public about personal finance, and promoting financial literacy in schools. We must move away from the current system of predatory capitalism, which prioritizes short-term profits over long-term sustainability, and towards a more equitable economic model that values social and environmental well-being. This includes investing in renewable energy, promoting fair trade practices, and creating a more circular economy. The possibility of an economic collapse is a sobering reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the importance of collective action. It is a call to re-examine our values, rethink our priorities, and work together to create a more just, sustainable, and resilient future. The challenges we face are complex and multifaceted, but they are not insurmountable. By harnessing the power of human ingenuity, collaboration, and a shared commitment to a better future, we can navigate the turbulent waters ahead and emerge stronger on the other side. Let us seize this moment not as a time for fear and despair, but as an opportunity for transformation and renewal. Let us build a world where economic security is a right, not a privilege, and where future generations can thrive in a just and sustainable world. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. Let us work together to create a future worthy of our children and grandchildren. If you found this video insightful, please like and subscribe to Express Econ Geo Finance Insights for more content like this.